I'm Erin Rowe, owner of Confidence Candle Company. I'm here to share different things that I've learned since creating my business in February 2022. Right now, I'm very new in the business. When I was first learning how to make a candle, I was surprised at all that I learned. I did not know that there were so many wick choices. I thought candles had those white wicks, that's it. I knew that there was soy wax versus whatever the old one was, which is paraffin, but I had no idea that there were more waxes, blended waxes, wax to fragrance oil percentage mathematics, and all these different other elements, such as the importance of this. The combination of the size of your vessel, which is what they call the candle jars, in relation to which wick, in relation to the fragrance oil. I didn't know that each of those played such a role and all tied together. So with those four mentions, those are going to be the main things you need to start making your actual product. Now, I did probably 2 to 3 months of work before producing product. Learning this next point could actually deter you from going into this business if you're considering it, but nothing in life comes easy, right? Each different candle size needs a different wick. So now if you want to make a large and a small, you're going to have to test multiple wicks. So now picture your counter full of all of these candles with different wicks that you have to test. That's also a lot of wax. There's also a lot of containers, a lot of fragrance oil, all out of your own pocket. And that's not even doing a tea light, a wax melt. This is just a large and a small. And you're gonna wanna even test multiple large ones. A 1/2 inch, a 1/4 inch difference in the diameter from here to here will change which wick you need. If it's a little bit wider, you think, oh, I'll just wick up, go up a size. Might not work, it might burn too fast. So it's very much a science, and the candle community says that for every different scent that you make, you must test. Now, I say do this once you figure out which wick works best for your containers, the small container, the large container. All right, I think I like these. Now we test how different fragrances can affect the flame. Please pay attention to what your supplier states on their website. Usually it tells you the percentage of fragrance oil recommended. I would not go above the recommendation. And also something I didn't know was the more fragrance oil you add doesn't make it stronger. It could actually do the opposite. So you have to test all of your scents. So for this candle, I have 3.5 diameter candle. Now the problem with this vessel is it goes wider to the slightest bit narrower. So it's going to burn differently when the wick's toward its end, and it might burn too hot. But you have to consider the top. Also, once the candle lowers, it gets much hotter because it's retaining all the heat in this whole empty top of the vessel. So which do you choose? You're going to have to make sure that your flame is below 3 inches tall. You'll have to make sure that your melt pool is how you want it to be. Now, the basic average rule of thumb is the candle will melt a 1/2 inch every hour that you burn it. So at a 4-hour burn, there should be a full melt pool. That means the liquid is all the way edge to edge. If it does that in the first hour, you know it's too big of a wick. Now also, you don't want the melt pool to be deep quickly either. If you light your candle, it should burn on the surface, inner to outer, and then lower. If it's just going down, also not the right wick. I didn't know that wicks were made of multiple materials. The wooden wicks are my favorite, as you know, for this vessel and for my celluloid collection. I have so many more wicks to try because the cotton wicks usually have a fiber within the cotton threads, but they all have different fibers, different materials, different amounts of fiber, and the thickness of even the cotton is different. As far as wooden wicks go, They not only have multiple widths, but they also have different thicknesses. They now have different shapes. They have whisper wicks, crackling booster wicks, regular crackling wicks. Did I say whips? And they have spiral and tubular. Is it tunnel or tubular? This is the spiral wick. You can see it's hollow in the middle. Now, I don't pour the wax in the middle, but when I cut the wick, some of it goes into the middle. So I wouldn't fill the middle if you're pouring your candle. If it leaks through, that's okay. Now the thing with wicks is they absorb some of the fragrance oil that's mixed into the wax. So when you make a candle, you have wax and you have your fragrance oil. You can mix different fragrance oils, but you have to do the mathematical equations to figure out how much wax versus fragrance oil. I figured I would just be like, oh, I want lavender, 2-3 drops swirled around. It is not like that at all. You have to weigh everything on a scale, and you have to think, well, am I making 3 today or am I making 50 today? And that will affect how much fragrance oil you use. You might not have enough. So the other thing with starting a business is inventory. If I have a large and a small candle, but in this scent that I want to try, I'm only going to make a large, how much wax do I need? But do I have enough fragrance oil? But do I have enough of that colored jar? Do I have enough of that wax left? And do I have enough of the white label versus the black label? Oh wait, the name label, I only printed 12. This person wanted 2 more. Inventory is a big part of making candles, because if you don't stay organized, it's going to end up looking unprofessional, whether it comes to tax time or just when you offer something on your website, it gets ordered and then you have to go to a customer and say, I was wrong, my site was wrong, I didn't even know I was out. It would look better if you made fewer reasons for customers to not come back to you. You want them to see you as someone who puts care into every part of this product that people are paying their hard-earned money for. It might take somebody 2 to 3 hours of work to afford this, and time is important to people. So you want to give them a quality product. You don't want to just be like, well, I'll just pour a little fragrance in. You have to do some equations. Now you also have to figure out your cost of goods. So I can do another video on that, but I'm getting ahead of myself. And today's first video, I want to basically just share the supplies that you will need when you start to make candles. Now this is aside from the digital supplies you'll need, like a hosting site for your website, a domain name, a registered business. You want to have your vessel. So this one is glass, and I chose matte. It's smooth finish, and mine comes with a lid. You don't have to use lids to reduce your costs. So vessels are a large cost that you will make in the beginning. And the next thing is the wax. This is a coconut soy blend. It does have a small amount of human grade paraffin in it, and the reason is some waxes hold scent throw better. So soy is a very popular wax, but I feel that my coconut soy holds scent better, and when you're burning it, the smell is stronger. So not strong in an overbearing way, but just what you want your candle to do. So I prefer the coconut soy blend. This is also a non-toxic vegan blend that I use. So your wax is heavy. Imagine shipping blocks or bags of wax. Wax comes in big blocks. It also comes in little snowflake looking chips, I'll call them. And you can scoop those, gets all over your floor, or you can use your muscles to chop the block. So there's really no preferable way because they both have their own idiosyncrasies, but block, I prefer block if you have the space to store it. You're gonna have to use gloves. It gets all over your hands if you're using the block. So it's a personal choice, and you're going to have a wax expense, a vessel expense. The third thing is the fragrance oil. It's so easy to want to try all of them. They're only like $1 to $4, depending on the company, some a little higher, to test a small 1 ounce bottle of fragrance oil. So you can just smell it. You'll have enough to make one of this size candle, maybe 2 little ones, and then again, you don't even know which wick you're supposed to use, but you can burn it, see if you like the smell. You can smell it from the cap to get the notes. And remember, you're going to smell different things from when it's in the bottle and you first receive it, you decide you like it, you order more, you pour your candle, then you're smelling it. It's called the cold throw. How much scent is thrown at you when it's cold? It's not being burned. Once you light it, that's the hot throw. So how much scent comes off when the candle's hot? And some people only smell it before it's lit, and then they can't smell it and they won't come back and buy from you, which is why the testing is important. So fragrance oils add up because you're not going to spend money on a large bottle when you haven't tested it out. So a lot of candle makers recommend to new businesses that they only start with 4 cents. I literally started with 48 cents, which means I purchased more than that, of little samples just to smell. And again, the bottle isn't even a true indication of what the scent will be once it's made, but I kind of go off not only what I like, but what is popular. I think in your line, it's always smart to have a vanilla scent. There are a lot of people who love the vanilla scent. Now, when you look on different candle suppliers' websites, you will see they all have different ones. So what's different? Which one's better? So what you do online when you're buying a fragrance oil is you look in the description for the top notes, the middle notes, and the bottom notes. It reminds me of wine. But some companies, not all, I would say most companies, but not all, put the most prevalent scent as a middle note. And then the top note is just like a little boop, like here's a little splash. And then the bottom note, balances things out. I don't know how they make these things smell so real, but look at the middle note line. That's the first impression your customer's going to get, is the middle notes. On most companies, not all. So you would look at that and say, well, which vanilla would I buy? I made a big order with 2 companies and compared. Now, a lot of the scents weren't the same, so it was no problem, but I did buy like a vanilla from 2. I think I actually have 3 or 4 vanillas. You'll get to see how the scents come through once you read the notes as you're smelling and just really get to know all that's out there is my recommendation, because when you see what your competition is selling, you'll kind of know which scent that they chose and what's doing well. I wouldn't say that scents are trending, but come fall, if you make a cinnamon and an apple and you see that somebody else is making a pumpkin and they said, I'm sorry, I'm sold out, and no one's bought your cinnamon and apple, you might consider pumpkin. But because there's a different pumpkin scent or 2 on every different supplier's website, you're going to have to try the ones that you think are appealing to you. I can do more videos on fragrance, but I really just wanted to focus today on the 4 things that you need to even start testing before making your candle business. We have the vessel, lid is included. We have the wax type. You might want to get a variety sample pack. You have the wicks and the fragrance oil. So vessel, wax, wick, fragrance oil. So those are the 4 things that you're going to be investing in before your website, product photographers, supplies for a market or a vendor show. These are your 4 expenses, and they add up quick, especially with the fragrance oils. I kept wanting to try more, and most people say don't and set yourself a budget, but I felt like I had to know what was out there so I could know what's going on in the industry. Every industry you're in, even if you're a small business, has trends, and keeping up with the trends will help you, since there are certain aesthetics that change over time and are popular throughout different times. I'll stop here, and if you would like to start researching, I would start with vessels, because that will help you decide what vision your brand conveys. I kept a minimalistic look, black and white. My Luxe collection is white with black lids. The Gentleman's collection is black with wooden lids. And the Soleil collection is colorful vessels of a different type. I also have petite candles and wax melts. But for today, I would recommend seeing what type of vessel you like and what style and design you want your entire brand, no matter the season, to be. If you want it to be a fun, energetic company, you could do neon colors. So you would look up neon vessels. If you wanted to do something in the warm tones, you might look up orange and yellow vessels. Think, what color label am I gonna want? Am I gonna want clear? What shape label do I want? And that's something you can think about later, because that's also a very large expense. Not as big as shipping, but today's expenses and products to begin that you would need, to reiterate again, are vessels, wax, wicks, and fragrance oils. So I just want you to let that stew in your mind, how much it takes both monetarily, emotionally, and physically to start this business. Or if you just want to follow along and have no intention of making a business, there's no problem with that. For whatever reason you're watching, please comment below things that you want to learn, ask questions throughout my videos. Make sure you subscribe and hit the notification bell so you can see when I add more videos. I hope you liked the first video. Check out confidencecandlecompany.com and also on Instagram at confidencecandlecompany. Bye.